Catherine Dames. I'm the Managing Director for Workforce Development at Blue Forge Alliance, and I am here with a good friend and partner, Nancy Martin, who is the Chief of Training in the Workforce Development Department at General Dynamics Electric Boat. Nancy, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell me a little bit about what General Dynamics Electric Boat does and how you and your team in the Workforce Development Department specifically support the work?
Oh, absolutely. So about 10 years ago, we recognized that our demand was basically climbing drastically, and we realized that our own infrastructure couldn't support the demand of the workforce coming in. We also recognized that our population in the area didn't have the skills that were needed to be deck plate ready, and so we really needed to collaborate on a state level, locally, not only with the different states, Rhode Island and Connecticut, but also the school systems within those states to see what infrastructure we could leverage to help our workforce be deck plate ready. And so what we did is we just had a round table, we collaborated, everybody came up with some really neat initiatives to solve our major demand hike that would be happening over the next decade. And so from there, it spearheaded all of our pipeline training programs, which we are in about 6 different colleges right now. Each of them customized training programs to get people who are either underemployed, unemployed, who want to change their careers in general, and it gives them a free training opportunity to learn for anywhere from 3 to 10 weeks, whatever occupation that they're in. They get to train up in that occupation so that they're actually deck plate ready. And so it just gives them that, like I said, that free opportunity, because we're leveraging some state dollars, some national dollars that can help really our industry grow very quickly, and that's what we needed. And then from there, we established or recognized we couldn't just pull from the populations of the unemployed, underemployed, and those with the career changes. We actually also needed to figure out how to grow the shipbuilding population, and so we went into the schools. So we went to CTE programs, we established new CTE programs, we helped advise morphing the current ones into more of a maritime focused occupational track or of learning objectives. We also wanted to make sure that those CTE programs had a good stream of youth going into them, and so we wanted to make sure that the middle schools had a nice way of getting, exploratory programs there to attract them into the CTE programs, and then from there we went into the elementary schools and we have programs there. It's all about just getting that vocabulary and that exposure into the school systems to grow those next generation of shipbuilders.
So are you doing a lot of work in like the K-12 space, community college space? Tell me a little bit about that.
So we started our initiatives working directly with the underemployed and unemployed in the local area, but then we realized that we needed to spread those initiatives into not necessarily attracting people into our industry, but also growing our shipbuilders. And so we have then also, over the past 10 years, have really instituted programs all the way from high school initiatives within the career and technical programs into the middle schools as well as the elementary schools.
You mentioned kind of a lot of investment in partnerships and such, and for the last year and a half now, I think we've developed a really close relationship and partnership with the Navy. Can you talk a little bit about how Navy investment has helped to bolster some of the work that you've been doing?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So in particular, one of our major projects is our pipeline curriculum initiative, and we work very closely in collaboration with Newport News Shipbuilding on building up our pipeline training programs to not only support electric boats specifically, but they're also customized for Newport News as well. And we hope that the supply base also could be utilizing these curriculums nationally. And so that innovation alone actually took many of the pipelines that we might have developed with our local colleges in just electric boats, subject matter experts, and now it's expanded to many more subject matter experts, and it actually was it was funny to me because I didn't realize that we would actually shrink the time for them to learn the same amount of learning objectives in a shorter amount of time, and then that means that they were just getting to the floor faster. So they were in less training time, but more productive. And one of the major things that we added to all of our pipeline programs, we actually leveraged one of the projects from ATDM, and we added capstones to all of our programs. And what that did is basically took an initiative that many school systems have used in the past. Like capstones, they're in many of our, in the high schools and whatnot. But taking all those learning objectives and putting them into one project really made it more innovative, because one, it really let the shipbuilder know that, oh my goodness, like they passed the course. They also made this amazing simulated project that they could be potentially doing on the floor, where like before welding, you just welded in a booth, you took it, you bent it, like you were standing up straight, you're holding the weld gun, and it was very academic, if you will. Like it wasn't as realistic as we needed it to be, but because we collaborated with everybody and benchmarked throughout the nation, we were actually able to now insert more like realistic simulations of projects for them to come out saying that I've completed those.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I really appreciate you.
Of course, thank you for having me.